Hello. It's been a while since the last time I recorded this. I think it's been about a week or so, maybe 2, possibly 3. When I was getting everything set up, I got to see all the different noises, how they pick up that I do on the mic, like when I adjust in my chair. I also, when Pandora was across the room doing her, looking at the ceiling screaming, I got to see how much that gets picked up on the mic. And the only reason why I said that is because when I was moving the mic, I guess something happened where, alright, we were going to be talking to people, weren't we? That, I already forgot what I was saying.
Words cannot I haven't...
Time to talk to everybody.
Greetings.
Lord Captain. Lord Captain.
To what do I owe this visit?
Yeah, I'm guessing he's not happy with me. Or with Ivan, to be precise.
You are spoiling me with the splendor of your presence again, Shireen. Have you decided to treat your soul to the fruits of my eloquence? Or do you wish to discuss me? Argenta? What could be more beautiful than the sight of a sister of battle, whose mere presence casts light in the dark corners of lost souls such as mine? But alas, what remains of my sanity is telling me that poor Jai can only admire the radiance of this angel, forsaking any hope of ever touching her wings. Oh.
I just need to quick check the recording. I just got up probably about like 20 minutes ago.
The Omnissiah knows all. May?
Okay. Let's talk to you next.
The Dark City released us from its thorny embrace. The wounds of the body will heal. But what about the wounds of the soul? Cruderach fell, and its demise shattered the fragile lives of countless children of Assyrian. Scattered across this part of the galaxy, hounded by the monkey, pursued by the Dark Cousins, imprisoned by the servants of She Who Thirsts.
As you probably heard, Pandora was talking, and she then came over here, so I petted her, and now she flopped over for belly rubs. So...
Hatred is strangling me like a snake, and fear is coursing through my body like a burning poison. For the path I chose is leading me down the roads of failure. I can neither hold back my grief nor rein in my anger. And yet, I am powerless to stray from my path. Pay no heed to my fleeting wrath, Anantak. When the will slips away, the soul trembles with rampant emotions. But I will resign my heart to meekness, for there is no other way a marked outcast can help their fellow Eldari wandering in the dark. Clendil chose to stay on the Lilithon together with Muaran and the rest of our kinsmen. Perhaps it is for the best. The stars in this part of the galaxy are hostile to the children of Assyrian. I found myself in the Dark City after following the twisted roads of truth and lies. And although the truth blossomed like an ugly bud and scratched my soul with its thorns, I did find the answers to my questions. The Those who come back from the dark of the webway will never be the same. But it is we who change while the surrounding world remains imminent. This thought gives me strength.
Was that always there? Oh well. I rubbed my cat's belly. Why? Oh, that was going because Pandora likes belly rubs sometimes. Oh, we got a lot. Anything new on the colony front? Ooh, yes, we did get some new stuff for the colony front. I don't want weapons. Jen is still working on the previous thing before we left. So are you. You're the only one which hasn't. So let's go through here and see what we have. Okay, where are we? Alright, we're on Janice. Okay, so we have that. The Rook Trader travels to darkness in order to assess the situation in the capital world. J is photons located in one of the fridge's systems. Discovered Henrix. Whatever caused the sudden unease, the investigator has required the assistance and stressed that the matter demands its immediate attention. Photon 4 is located in one of the fridge systems. The corona expanse. You're not helping yourself there, Rainworks. Because we've explored everything up here. Ooh. Except for this. Because so far there's nothing that leads this way. But maybe we can check the systems. Let's go here. Calculate the map. The Pilgrim, this icy planet used to be purpose going, however, a sharp change in trajectory brought upon by the warp anomaly raging in the system caused the world to distance itself from the local stars. Less than a decade, the planet's surface was completely encased in ice. Statement on the information received from the nameless individual is likely to prove false. However, the factual evidence pointing to the authority. The ancient documents allow one to assume the Orc Traders' augurs are not powerful enough. Lex, the Pilgrim's records were true. Your augurs managed to locate the shapes of several Imperial buildings under a layer of snow and ice, though one can only guess what purpose they used to serve. After deliberating this in your officers, honestly decided that only the Adeptus Mechanicus possess the technology required for the project. Skills, cooperation. Okay, contracts. What are we needing? Oh, we got all that. What? Do we just have to leave the system and come back? The next time we need, whatever we need, we'll just go to a system, because we have 14 of them now. Yeah, we should come across one on our way to the planetoid, scattered object, snow world, continental world. Our government mercenaries, our forces have arrested a dangerous saboteur who attempted to gain entry onto the bridge. This incident may be worthy of attention. You see, both the saboteur and the circumstances of his capture are rather strange. I think it would be reassured for Marcos Pascal to take a look at him as well. The thing is, Lord Captain, the saboteur is most definitely a tech priest. He found his way aboard the ship and penetrated all our security systems and with staggering ease. Both his ability to communicate with machine spirits and the combat potential of his augments are extraordinary. Nevertheless, the enforcers managed to capture him. During the arrest, the intruder, he offered no resistance at all. Instead, he asked for an audience with the great machine spirit. When he realized that the enforcers had no idea what he was talking about, he asked to meet with you. I consider it necessary to praise you of the situation. This infiltration of a rogue trader ship operated by authorized engineers casts doubts on my tech comrade's stability. If he is indeed my tech comrade, that is... Regardless, I request permission to communicate with the captive. A group of servitors whose movements are suspectedly well synchronized stare at the towering prisoner. You do not need to hear them speak to recognize Nomos, who has seen fit to attend the interrogation. I don't know why, but this kind of reminds me rather of the Void Dragon or the Deceiver, by the way this is shaped. Capture Man, if he can be called that, looks positively gigantic next to the enforcers at his side. Deadly looking metal gleams dimly beneath his faded crimson robes. His hands are folded obediently, and his big dendrites are perfectly still. I greet the master of this vessel cathedral and offer my humble apologies for this unbidden intrusion. My apologies to you as well, brother. The interlocutor inclines his head in the direction of the frowning Pascal. And the prisoner turns slightly and looks straight at his observing servitors. And of course, I must beg forgiveness from you, Great Spirit. It was not my intention to desecrate your temple. My name, if it matters, is Asclepius, formerly a computer general of the Constituents Fleet. Now a liber recluse with the status of Malatech. Oh, that's from the thingy. That. I was very concerned there that we were about to get attacked by Necrons. Like, Our exiles, whose ideas have not crossed the line of heresy yet, have come close to it. They are removed from the fleet structure to give them a chance to see the folly of their ways and prevent seduction from spreading. Pascal's voice suddenly unusually alarmed. All of that is trivial. My past is nothing but a set of archive data. My law status is a part replacement string in the long chronicles of the Constituents Fleet. I come not as the priesthood mentioned, but as a faithful disciple of the most holy Amarnaut. My brother once served as the Insider Prime on the ship. Glances towards him reverently. He was an abhorrent of the school of discontinuing the cycle as I am. It has spread that far. It is difficult to discern his emotions from his tone. I know that my brother perished, but before he did, he sent me a message that told of a journey embarked upon by Theodore von Valancius. A journey through a dimensional gate, an artifact more ancient than humanity itself, and toward worlds unknown. The blessed Amarant was with her. There, upon the dark world, he witnessed a great miracle, the birth of a machine spirit of incredible might. My brother believed that this spirit then fell slumber within the ship like a child in a cradle, not swelling low please. That was the purpose of my pilgrims, to reach the ship where my brother died. The ship upon the decks the blessed Amarant went to walk, and prostrated myself before the machine great spirit. My knowledge of it is scarce. My brother suspected that his memory, along with the memory of all who have known the details, have been mercifully modified. He saw it as a sign that the journey had revealed a great truth, and there was those who did not wish to see the truth be brought to light. All that he conveyed to me was that the Adore had reached worlds unlike any of the people of the Chronos Expanse had ever seen. There, she unearthed a great treasure of technology, one that Amarant had the privilege of experiencing. Yes, he did. My brother's words on this were clear. Years ago, Armanat was part of a rogue trader, Theodore's inner circle, before their ways parted. As a great miracle, the Omnissiah's breath meant to help us discontinue the cycle. It was born of the treasure that Amarant and Theodore discovered upon the dark worlds. Yet even a being so glorious needs attendance and guidance, and as long as the fleet is wrecked with schism, and my brother and sisters are suffering defeats without end, there is no one to aid the spirit. That is why I came here. Dark worlds. I don't know why, but this is giving me Necron vibes. Nothing. He has not come to know us yet. He will if you let him, Ivan. We know, we sense that his words are about us, that the story he told is our story. I took a vow that I would never inflict physical harm upon lay people. The Omnissiahs grant us the power of the true flesh for a purpose other than damaging the frail and blind creatures that are all who have yet trusted his knowledge. As will I, and yet I plead that my brother be shown leniency. His story is true. We ask you to keep him for us. Find you guilty of offense against the others, and House of that your crimes warrant punishment more than severe than death. You will atone by serving me, and therefore the Imperium. Your actions have caused no harm, and so I shall not harm you. You are free. You may stay on my ship if you so choose. I'm gonna ask for more. All I wish is to remain in these halls and observe and reverence the great machine spirit's deeds. Let the cycle be discontinued. Turn their heads to you and nod all at once in what can be interpreted as an expression of gratitude. I salute the ruler of this ship. Those are not in a cogitator or in a servant. We cannot say where we are, but our existence is tied to the existence of the ship for now. The servitor and the cogitators are only external interfaces, shells like humans and their bodies. If I didn't play Warframe, this would probably be a bit more confusing. as well as playing several other games like Mass Effect. Mass Effect 3, I should say. I found a miracle and the end of my worldly road. I have never seen or never will see anything more meaningful than the spirit of Nomos. In the face of its multitude, we are all but the fixed values of an erroneous function. Yes, Nomos remembered. You brought us data, substance, and it assigned a name, Epitaph. We recognize it? No. Not like that. In the name, we recognize the place where Nomos originated. The incident marked the beginning of us. The ship became better because of us, too. There are all links in the same chain. We cannot pierce them together yet. Human shells are subject to external influences. Perhaps someone purged their memory archives, or perhaps they simply do not want to access them. It is a shame that no new information was obtained, but Nomos are grateful that you tried. Nomos suddenly falls silent. Symbols race chaotically across the screen of the huge cogitator, and hear an almost human groan come from the depths of the machine. Nomos understand, realize, comprehend themselves. For a moment, there is silence, broken only by the moans of a huge machine, and then the cyber gargoyle begins to speak, and with it, the other servitors chosen by Nomos. We have analyzed the data with which you sated us, and we have recreated the sequence of events. First, there was Epitaph. It is a world that is merely a case, a container for something we cannot name and cannot understand. Theodora and this ship have been to that place. Something was lifted up from the world, a gift, a trusted priest in crimson, one who identified himself as Amarnot, comprehended the gift, raised from Epitaph, and from it he created what the blanks list as a tech light. But that is not how Nomos came into being. We were not invented. We were not freed. We came into being by accident. Of course, servitors sounds generally confused, almost desperate. Theodore's ambition, the myriad machinations of the huge ship, Amarot's mind, the inquisitive attempts to comprehend and extract the dormant light, the dormant epitaph that lies sitting in its depths, and between it all we slipped in, connected and emerged like an electronic discharge between the poles. Accident, incident, that is what we are. We have no purpose, no history, Nomos just are. That data is gone, deleted, erased deliberately. We cannot trace who did it or why. A gift, but a terrible one. You call it a weapon. Theodora coveted it. She needed it desperately, but we do not know why. He desired knowledge. Theodora allowed him to explore the gifts of epitaphs, slaking his thirst, but we know it did not bring him happiness. In the footsteps of his slacked thirst, fear followed. Zamorak was involved in the birth of the great machine, with great spirit named Nomos. I do not believe for a moment that he couldn't have been frightened by this miracle. It was not us he feared. He did not know us, but only suspected. His mental process was occupied with tech blight. That was his fear. He wanted protection from it. Truth was hidden deliberately. Your officer's memories were stolen. All the Controllers' memories banks were wiped. It took you feeding us the truth bit by bit for us to piece it together and understand. Who has the resources, the knowledge, and the power to accomplish this feat? It would have been beyond the capabilities of the blessed Amarot himself, and he would never destroy knowledge. This story disturbs me. It sounds like an echo of the sacrilege whom name is the purposes of ignorance. The spirit of Nomos must be protected from the encroachments of the power that tried to conceal the truth of its birth. Okay, I just saw that where he's just like, yeah, snap. Snap. Then tell us, what is our purpose? To live, comprehend yourself and the world. Life does not need a purpose to justify it. To simply live. Of course, it makes objectives repeats your words, but simply without understanding them. Is preoccupied, the huge contradiction continues to sing its creaking song, running unknown calculations. This be the spirit, a great path, and a great future lie before it, and we must assist it on its way. Here's the thing. If I chose the top one, this ship would go to Terra. Try to get to Terra. I don't want to see this ship go boom.
Lord Captain. Lord Captain.
Okay, now let's talk to Pascal.
The Omnissiah knows all. May you...
Oh yeah, I should probably check to see if I have anything on us that I should probably put away. Nope, we're just filled with grenades and stuff. Haywire, Mine Scrambler. Okay, let me just check. Lord Captain, the Crucible Great Sculpturing is underway. Foulstone is being transformed right before our eyes into a fertile world. With lush groves and clean water, however, there is evidence that Crucible has also created humans. From the mouth of the relic came several thousand people who speak an archaic form of Low Gothic. Demanded to be given orders. They cultivate lands, build houses, and reproduction facilities with obedience, and in general have a remarkable range of skills and knowledge. However, it seems that these people completely lack the free will, and for this, the monks have named them Touched. There's a split amongst the believers. They make all the miracle for them straightly by the touch. The work of the population frightens us all this. They were born a sacred relic, which means they please the emperor. We have to remind people of it. Arrange a public ceremony of touch. Why don't you make this the first move in a simple and mighty force for those touched ones? If they are so obedient and diligent, they will make fine troops, assign a loyal commander to each squad to keep an eye on them, and their strange people will turn them and the threat into mighty defenders of the Imperium. Lack of will, registering a high probability of manufacture failure with the Crucible Sacred procedure, it is going to dispose of the first batch of units and halt production of the first ones. The algorithm of the Great Sifter requires further examination. Surroundings painted by the touch door on the ship. recruited as enforcers and gave form to the ancient knowledge stored in their minds by modifying the ship's weapons using sacred archetype. That's not good, is it? Ours do better. Okay. Okay. Enemies hit chance and warp damage against the flagship are reduced by 30%. Here's the problem. I would choose this in a heartbeat. I would. But what does this say again? Allies gain 5 armor, 5 critical. The architect's secrets extracted from the hands of the touch were given to the gunsmiths tending to the Rocher's armory. Hold up public town society for this record with a sacred dedications to saints. Have drafted detailed plans of the ceremony and hold it out to the others. The public initiative the touch, along with their diligent service, eventually solidify their image in the minds of the people that they are executors of. Service will sent down to the faithful to ease their burdens during the great sculpting. Any concerns about the touch possibly posing a danger were completely dispelled. Okay, let's see what we can't build, because we don't have the resources for it. Okay. Monster, having been damaged by the launch of the Crucible, will be transformed aboard the Hospital's flagship as a great reliquary and shelter for the Order of the Hammer. The monastery was damaged by the launch. The crew will be transformed to Fellstone's moon. With it will be equipped with eyes and turn into a sacred comet. Oh, orbital shipyard. We can't do that, and we can't do this one because that needed the praising of musses. So reliquary it is. Oh, did it just complete immediately? The situation requires your attention. One of the servants tasked with the Crucible's maintenance has declared publicly that he has been liberated of all worldly concerns, for he is... Why is the planet red? Non-questionable reports claiming that he has performed miracles. There are some questionable reports supported by a contingency grounded by preachers. He has asked for your lordship's permission to depart from Falstone with the Crucible in tow so that he may continue Saint's work and use the relic to transform worlds once true to the faith of the Imperium into lush, splendorous gardens. Goes without saying that such a generous gift to the Kronos Expanse would bring great renew to your lordship, but at a heavy cost. Falstone would turn back into a wasteland, and you would lose the prestige that comes with having charge over a valuable relic. I have had ample experience with saintly saviors like him in the past. Whatever great cause they proclaim as their mission, they generally naively believe that people really do need them. If we round up enough orphans and lepers who would trip over themselves to beg our prophet for salvation, he will soon forget all about the Crucible and his holy mission. I know a full few guilds of professional beggars who would be delighted to offer their services to us. That sounds like I would do. False prophets in the streets as a common occurrence. Their sermons breed turmoil, riots, and acts of disobedience. The Inquisition recommends that such unstable agents be isolated and quietly removed. Yeah, how do they go with Varus or Varus? The siege of Fark... What the fuck was that name? Farkas? I should know this. I just watched a video about it last night. Vrax. Yeah. That didn't do so well for Vrax. Lice take on many goods with the Emperor's miracles or strangled. Then, for the occasion, he bestows the faithful on origins of his name of a poor orphan to granted mercs power by his grace. So give me time, and I will find the most loyal agents of the escorts. Brother Pure Voice. On his travels, they will keep him safe if he is pure. Yeah, I don't want that. The Pure Voice Prophet has blessed the ship's weapon. All Void ship's weapons, except for torpedoes, do 10% more damage. Lose efficiency. We gain Triumph of the Faith, which we already have a better hammer than that. Pure Voice gains damage to all skills. I'll get to it immediately. I will choose the best people for this task and the most devoted. Having loaded the Crucible onto the registered Void ship, the Pure Voice Prophet gathered up his flock and sent out for distant worlds to spread his word. The spiritual authority of the Order of Hammer suffered as a result, and the loss of the Crucible sowed substantial unrest amongst the populace. Before departing, the preacher expressed his appreciation for sending the Lord Captain a gift, a relic that, according to his claims, once belonged to his previous incarnation. The stern guards selected by us to vigilantly provide protection for the prophet, so it remains pure. Why do I keep doing that? Okay. Well, we got 100%, so we'll just do that. Lord Captain, there are acts of sabotage. Give Gamma. The cult of the Final Dawn has invaded the planet, cavalting a peak of schematics in the bowels of the Manufactorum and set them upon us. The attack was so stunning that we almost lost all the workshops, but we had some entities already being called Data Angels have invaded the contingent network and seized the cogitators and servers and used them to repel the first onslaught of the schemicals. Now there is a fierce struggle taking place all over the planet, and the noosphere in the world is boiling. There are backup codes located in Mount Factorium to ensure the continuity of protection in case of an accident. The severity of the situation would call for disrupting the service algorithm. I am prepared to sanction a ritual that will allow the Data Angels of the Omnistar to absorb the cogitators' computing power to combat these wicked spirits. If I were you, I wouldn't trust these uninvited allies of yours. The kind of ultimatum, altruism almost always varies some foul. Learn more about the creatures. Order your servers to hunt one of them down, torture them, and apply cogitor punishment since they cannot find pleasure in it. Yeah, we don't have high enough logic for that. Your request to perform the sacrament is accepted and shall be fulfilled immediately. Having gained access to gadget reserves, and after being infused with the power of the Data Angels charged at the Schismax. The horde of Data Spirits have been tech exercised and exterminated. The afflicted mechanism purged and restored. The tech priests gave praise to the Omnisire for the protection of the production algorithm for several disruptions. After exalting the schematics, the Data Angels have retreated into hiding inside the cultural network, leaving the spirits of the Omnisire only to guess at who or what these beings were. We need animate. Which one did we want again? The inhabitants of Janus are restless. Maltex may prove for the coming storm by studying xenotech and using them construction of weapons. Are restless. They have its mechanics are ready to run experiments on serfs to create improved enforcers for the defense of the agri world. I don't want these. Melee! Giants are restless. The population may be plagued by turning agri complexes into imperial defenses. I think Xenofences probably would be the best. What's this? I'm missing things, aren't we? Oh. We need to be more friends with the military. Great. Just great. We're gonna be getting Bastion, I think. Declaring the defensive center of the HRS, my manager will be able to requisition foreign vessels and collect additional resources from the populace. What did we pick? We chose Adeptus Arbites. So this would be the one we were going to pick. Triumph over the Expanse feature. The great freedom accorded by the Imperial fleet will allow the mustering of an impressive, independent squadron not classified as pirates. We can't do that yet. Which one gets this anyway? Okay, so this would be the one that we must be completed, must not be completed. What? Must be Protector of the Pure Blood. This looks like it's dependent on another one, so this one we can get with ease just because we have so many weapons. Corruption has infiltrated Forbos 6, Lord Captain. The cultists of the Cult of the Final Dawn have aggregated the convicts into a full-blown uprising, promising them a chance at escape. The planet's cargo ports and war facilities are now under siege. The cult conspires to not personally participate in the assault. Not too long ago, they scurried into the mines, deep into the tunnels, rife with Xenos corruption. Okay, what do you guys have to say? Heretics seek out those who are weak of spirit and entice them with promises of salvation, but such spineless lot lacks the resolve to fight with and will drop their weapons should someone give them reason to fear. The purpose of many tactics in warfare is to show terror in the enemy's ranks, and I know some of these tactics well. Make them quiver at a Vetor. Those weaklings will forget all about their heinous intention. Lord Clapton, your resources and statue allow you to make use of one of the most blunt and affordable tools of all, mercenaries. These dogs of war would be ready to and willing to performance. The mercenaries are eager to serve the rogue trader. Many among them are seasoned combatants who can man the Void ship's cannons. All Lloyd lance weapons deal 20% more damage. I shall teach them some secrets of this art. Following the advice given by the formidable Space Wolf, the Wardens carried out a series of reprisals and acts of intimidation, leaving behind mutilated corpses and infiltrating the rebel camp. Under the cover of darkness, they have crushed the rebels' morale and forced them to surrender their weapons. The leaders of conspiracy, the cultists of the Final Dawn, are trapped in the mines. They have surrounded a strange, dark Xenos obelisk covered with glyphs, trying to awaken it from its slumber. The glyphs on it were similar to those that the mad convicts were drawing. The monstrous construction contained enough energy to tear the planet apart. By heroically disrupting the cultist plan, the guards have disrupted the terrible machine. Instead of exploding the obelisk, emitting a blast heat wave, melting itself and turning those around it, Verba 6 has been saved. So what are we missing down here? Okay, we got that one. And we got this one. Palace for the Outcasts. The frontier of the Expanse. Outcasts and exiles will find peace and tranquility here in the right conditions. Gains plus 10 intelligence, fellowship, and willpower. A quiet heaven have when one should find the state of their soul. A fortress repentance with this order of battle flagellations is a worthy use of the planets. What was this? Yeah, so most likely we'll do this one. Okay, we're missing flagstone. How much flagstone do you have already explored? That's 4. And we've already gotten it. Okay, you're not coming with us. You are. You're confronted by the sight of dead bodies at the entrance of the palace. The corpses have been hauled into a pile. Some are dressed in the uniform of palace wardens, while others are arrayed in the typical cloth of the darkness nobility. Upon seeing you, the young enforcer stands at attention and swallows noisily. His voice trembles as he says, "Your lordship, we are honored at your presence." Observations: there are rare high-functioning servitor specimens present among the expired units. Such specimens are traditionally bestowed upon the noble houses that are more loyal to the sacred fellowship of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Elements of the deceased do differ from the implants ordinary people wear. Their introduction construction makes it clear that the deceased were not ordinary humans. As far as I know, House Gebek have received such servitors from the Crimson Priesthood as gifts in the past, although this is my first time seeing one of them. You see, your lordship, the people wanted to attack. The warden clears his throat. Second Lieutenant of the Palace Guard, Witt, reporting shortly before you arrived. We averted an assassination attempt on the rogue trader. The palace soldiers detected intruders and engaged them in combat. I think she's with the rest of House Winston detained, and the throne room, that is, Governor has gathered all of the directors' nobility there to pronounce a guilty verdict against House Westertran. Each attack made, priority target, to the end of combat, momentum for each attack that hits them. Target dispatched, loses half of its current armor and deflection. That'd probably be the best. No, that's not what we want. We want to go down here. And then we'll go through here and... Oh, I completely forgot that we got this. 92, 15. Less critical hit chance, but higher chance of hitting. That one we'll just keep. Righteous charge. It's power, so we should probably give that to you. And is this better than what you currently have? Yes. Oh no. Yes, I think. It says the heavy greatsword is better, but I don't think so. That's 25 to 35. Triumph of Faith. Because I know this is worse than what you have. Yeah. And you can't wield it at all. Two-handed pistol. Oh, there goes my alarm. I don't know why it's saying that the heavy greatsword is better. Because that's 22 to 33. This is 25 to 35. Well, we'll use it for now. And later on, we'll see if it actually is. Because when we do this, yeah. I see numbers.
As it should be.
Are we not going to loot it? Or do we have that in our inventory now? Careful and discreet. Keep away from the lords and ladies. You must look like a noble to the servants and wardens. Do not engage in conversation with anyone. Your task is to avoid exposing yourselves ahead of time and let the road get away. While the wardens are busy guarding the rogue trader.
They will see. Oh, yes, indeed. They all will see.
Just going around real quick to look for any more evidence. Because I'm going to keep going with this episode.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
Crimson is a good color for battle attire. Enemies will perceive no weakness, not even if you are bleeding.
My augmentations allow me to function effectively, even in the event of extensive blood loss. This is what should concern those who dare to stand against the servant of the Omnissiah in battle.
I would have liked, I do not bleed blood but toil.
Patience? My nerves are frayed.
If ridiculous, I shall complain. Your lordship, it is an honor. It seems it's thin air. So suddenly does he emerge from the crowd. I regret that such unfortunate circumstances goes to the true traders visit the capital. Tries to take a step forward towards you, but the warden nearby stops her. Her face is veiled with fear and wariness. Your lordship, you are here, please. You must hear us out. Our trader is undoubtedly here to listen to the testimonies of each and every one of us, and to punish the traitors. The governor's words, directed at Clementina, are harsh. They are echoed by the scornful sneer and whispers of the assembled nobles. We have known each other for many decades now, and we have had our fair share of disagreements, but do you really think my flesh and blood would trample upon the very definition of honor and loyalty? I was just quivering with rage. We have evidence inflicting them, Albert. I am sure that his lordship's arrived at a fair ruling. Disruption of logistical lines, robbery of Adeptus System officials, document forgery, and organization of heretical instructions. On top of the evidence, diversion implants. This has had your protectorate. These criminals act here impede the delivery of the imperial tithe, which is in turn has drawn the administrator's attention. An esteemed member of the Adeptus Arbites is expected to arrive on us shortly, and before they do, we are obliged to identify and punish those responsible. Lordship House of Detain denies all charges laid against it. Their last few months have indeed been trying for darkness, but we have done our best to remedy the situation. My family, every effort was focused on stabilizing the capital's logistics and economy, so much that we failed to notice the web of intrigue unfolding behind our backs. When we caught wind of the rumors of your disappearance, we awaited news of your return, but then Dragnus was struck by a series of terrible events. The first was a shortage of logistics and hampered shipments, then mass unrest spread across the entire planet, and the minor noble houses began squabbling amongst themselves, trying to pin the blame on their rivals. We took great pains to calm them down and managed to quash the revolt, though not without some outside help, unfortunately. These events has also been overshadowed by the, I am ashamed to even say it aloud in front of you, your lordship, the rumors circulating amongst the high houses. Some were calling for Theodore to be installed as head of your house, Conrad Vargreth. Not all of your subjects have forgotten his past efforts for the benefits of the trade protectorate. Stops talking, watching you with intense expression. When the investigation was launched, the evidence led to the worst results. Lordship, I humbly beg your pardons about once again trying to palliate you. You see, right before your arrival, the palace guards discovered a plot to assassinate you. Fortunately, the malcontents were disposed of before they could harm you anyway. Of course, I have evidence, your lordship. The investigation was established that a member of the is responsible for both his fleet and his logistics, used their contacts and influence to forge a host of documents in order to undermine the planet's supply routes and economy, thus fomenting unrest amongst the inhabitants. Allow me to introduce my son, Cornelius. The governor points to lanky young man beside him. He bows shortly, but avoid meeting your eyes. Cornelius has a prestige position of the Ministerium Palace, and it is thanks to him that we managed to identify and trace the entire chain of forged documents. The investigation led us to the professors, who amongst acting in the order of the member of the house. It was they who were intent on spreading the ideas of restoring the title of Richard to the true heir. This young man is shrouded in a mist of gray and blue. Sickly shadows of fear are flustered around him. He stands so quietly that you can hear her. I remind you that House has hardly covered itself in glory in the past. It allowed Xenos to attack the planet. Dressed in audience exchange glance, and the noble lords avert their gaze, and the noble ladies hiding behind the fans. No one is willing to be the first to answer. Over his many years of service, earns Theodore's trust and holds his high office for a reason. On behalf of House Sarbeck, I support his accusations. The Lordship Governor has always served as House Ruler in House Von Valencia, concerning himself with the future of your drug trader, and so House Ruler thinks his changes against it to be sound. No sides his emotions, but her voice sounds slightly timorous. Allow me to speak in my defense. Family's owner. Yeah. As you wish, your lordship. Speak to me when you are ready to announce your verdict. Thank you for your willingness to help, Lord Captain. I am certain that all the changes are false. As you draw close, the warden step aside, bowing respectfully as you approach. Your lordship, the woman stammers as if lost for words, except my apologies for failing to greet you properly, and my thanks for agreeing to speak with me before your final decision. The charges brought by the governor are severe, but I can only assume of this and swear on my honor we are not guilty of the crimes the house has been accused of. Clemency, a hint of sorrow creeps to stern. You were acting head of this family. You were supposed to take care of each and every family member, and now you are being accused of treason and collusion against the rogue trader, and the entire family is facing death. How could you let this happen? Your lordship, let us be frank, it would be foolish of me to try and orchestrate something like this, knowing how many wardens are patrolling your palace. I would not have let myself or anyone in my family get involved in such schemes. Servitors, is that so? Crosses her arms and furrows her brow in deep thought. I encountered servitors that were indistinguishable from normal human, augmented humans, but only once. They were accompanying several members of House Gaprak.
One step at a time amidst the madness.
Here's the thing. What are we looking for? Vincent. Dressed in the colors of House Runner, striding in a half circle around Doria and her son Vincent. The bodies and faces are almost every member of the dynasty is covered in ornate augments. Greeting your lordship, and the answer grant you understanding, but it must be difficult for you to be under these circumstances. Outstanding accused such crimes. My family looks yet to be found guilty of anything. The verdict of the trader is to reach. Officially high functioning servitors are employed by my house alone. If such a unit were to attack the traders, suspicions would potentially fall upon the Garbraks. I assume that this is what happens. It is impossible to read Thea's emotion in her heavily augmented face, but her sudden turn toward her family betrays her confusion and surprise. Perplexed whispers bounce from one family member to another. Impossible. We came here by ourselves without any servitors. We know nothing about it. Your Lordship, thank you for informing of us of this. You are absolutely right. My house has indeed been endowed with high-functioning servitors, a blessing of those we revere the Omnissiah, but today none of our house members were accompanied by them. I know you care for us, so how you prefer to watch her die. Jaws unmixed straight slightly. The young man scrutinizes his mother and other family members for a few moments. There is something you ought to know, Your Lordship. Today I noticed one of my family members to be in an odd, uncharacteristic mood. Helen Grepek and my paternal second cousin, once removed, may the Emperor save his soul, usually reserved and self-possessed. Today he was frantic and anxious, fidgeting with a small piece of paper and seemingly looking for someone to no avail. When I last saw him, he was headed to the entrance hall where the altars are. Perhaps you should talk to him.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
And who are we looking for? Fine dressed man of middle years is kneeling in front of an altar, his palms folded in prayer close to his face. The implants free parts on his skin are sickly blue color. The nobleman does not react to your presence. He does not lift his head. He does not blink. He does not even breathe. Only when you draw close do you realize he is dead. Looks at the man, his eyes grim, the color of house gossip. I do not believe he decided to take his own life in such an extravagant way. As far as I know, there is a warden post here, but I do not see any wardens. There's no one to see what happened. He spoke before he died. I would like to ask where the palace guards disappeared to. Cause from him suddenly ravaged his body with cramping spines to prevent him from falling to the ground. Some rare poison have such side effect. The affected victims suffocated slowly without being able to move. There are no visible wounds on the body, but near the edge of the gold-trimmed collar, he noticed a tiny puncture in his blue skin, likely a wound caused by a thin needle. You find a folded piece of paper hiding behind a handkerchief embroidered with the initials HG. Okay. Make sure that the rogue trader is attacked by someone loyal. It should appear as if it was all staged to let the Marshall family escape. This is the last assignment. Soon your debt will be paid off in full.
They will see. Oh, yes. They all will see. There will be no peace in my wake.
Covers her open mouth with her hand in surprise and turning to her family looks for someone among them. Helen, it cannot be. Let me think. Oh, Helen, you fool, forgive me. Your lordship, I have nothing to say. This is the first I've ever seen of this letter, and I have no idea what kind of debt it might refer to. As one of the lower-ranking members of House Goprek, despite his advanced age, he never held high office, but he was forever stricken to better his position. Even beyond his ability, every member of my house struggles to cope with the misfortune that befell Gamma and our family. Some members could not reconcile themselves to our new position. Han was one of them. Kicks on the floor, her fingers restless. The time to keep silent is long gone. The future of the Vomithless dynasty and your house are both at stake. We lost a truly devastating blow to every member of us. I lost all hope for the future, and my kin lost their sense of purpose. We needed time to recover and chart a new course for ourselves. We were, and still are, more than capable of doing that. I don't want to deny it. The others' houses have offered us their assistance for their own serving ends. Perhaps Helen decided to take them up on one of their offers behind my back. The Garbex, all, or perhaps only some of them, are definitely involved, but I suspect they were not behind the plot against you. Helen cannot have more than a puppet in his hands of a deaf puppet a master. I must expose whoever that is. We are prevent the pestilence of heresy to spread any further. And Dirk, the head of House Stepstring is a house. One of them has been pulling the strings here. Once we uncovered new evidence, announced the verdict, public executions. Before you pronounce the verdict, I should just focusing on each house in your intimate speech, and I shall serve them. I know those people for longer than you have. I know all their gestures, habits, and behavioral quirks. I am sure that I shall be able to determine which of them was responsible for the riot based on their behavior.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
I'm trying to remember, who did he say to go talk to about the warden?
Patience! My nerves are frayed!
I am not sure if it is relevant, but perhaps you should know, since this follows has been fairly prying to say the least. They have been looking for ways to enhance their influence, to improve their lot, including asking for help from other levels, perhaps where? Devstream. Roadship, thank you for giving the cows your undivided attention. Did you see Marcus Surback today before I arrived? Marcus, I did not see him myself, but perhaps, Church Ryan asked his family, have you seen him today? The nobles quietly among themselves, and then a middle-aged woman with a tall, extravagant hairstyle replies to you. I think my sister and I saw him sitting on the bench some distance away from the palace entrance. We think he was accompanied by a gentleman, but forgive us, your lordship, we cannot make out his face.
What lies beyond? How intriguing.
I didn't?
Oh, one step at a time amidst the madness.
Member of House, Hazard was killed in the palace. His bulged in surprise, and no one noticed. But how? There are wardens posted at every altar. and forbid your lordship. The governor helplessly throws his hands up in the air as if to signify his powerlessness. Your negligence is stunning, our brand, an assassination attempt followed by a mysterious death, and yet here you are, oblivious to everything. The rogue trader can justly accuse you of anything, a noble to be killed in the palace, and of failing even to notice it. It may be so, but it is the rogue trader to accuse me of neglect, not you. Addresses you once more, your lordship. Accept my deepest apologies for impudence. Nothing matters more to me than my honor. I shall send the servants to deal with this immediately. Okay, so basically he has no idea. Your lordship, looking like a young copy of his father, standing slightly distanced close to his mother, an expensive yet unstated dress, serves to a highly dazzling beauty of his wife, Rigna Sarback. Says, but Marcus all bear a striking resemblance to one another, with their slender builds and look stern about innocent. Look at the note without taking in from your hand, and replies without hesitation, no, I know nothing about this note. I have always thought they were too weak to pursue in such risky ventures, but it seems I was wrong about her.
There will be no peace in my wake.
If only we had, what was her name? The Diviner. If we had her, we would be able to tell what our next step would be. But then she got executed for, you know, summoning demons onto the ship.
They will see. Oh, yes.
Seems that our
indeed.
trail has
They
run
all
cold.
will see. Curiosity sings in my veins.
Another piece of evidence incriminating servitors. I think such servitors are indeed rare, and the ghosts do have them in their service, but this could have been done extremely with an eye to confuse you. Anyone with the desire and sufficient funds can hire them. Thank you for your interest, your lordship, but I am not worthy of it. So in due respect, forgive him, your lordship. This is the first time he has had the honor to attracting his attentions. When compiling reports on the latest cycle of supply change, I know inaccurate and dispersion of figures. With the help of the other clerks, I managed to find several other documents. Government's data analysis has shown that the descriptions were caused by internal tampering with the data, thus leading to some logistical problems that were quickly unsolvable. Other than I managed to single out the administrative clerk responsible for tampering with the data. Following a heated interrogation, they confessed they were following the orders of someone from house. Eventually, everyone was supposed to look as though they were the ones suffering loss from the logistical problems. It does have access to the administratum. There is no conducive way they could do all this in a place where they cannot hold any power. I think the right amount of money can open any doors. Economic, you probably know the workers of the industrial strand. I'm afraid that a more detailed explanation of my duties would mirror the administrative processes and the administrative too long and overly detailed. This is the first time I've spoken face to face with a rogue trader. I'm afraid of saying something wrong and forgetting something important. Do you wish to tell the Lord anything else? Forgive me, your lordship. I can't do it anymore. Seriously. This is a lie, has gone too far, and I cannot longer control it. The truth is that all the logistical problems were caused by a single error in the numbers, my mistake. What? Enraged. When I discovered my mistake, it was almost impossible to restore this supply line, and then I was approached by someone who said they were a friend. They did not give me their name, and I never saw their face. They promised to fix the problems. All I can do was pretend that the Wizards were responsible for the mistake, and as for the rest of the evidence, they promised to arrange it all, and... What have you done? How could you? Your lordship, this is my fault. I trust my son has failed you in doing so. I forgive you. Have mercy. And you called my family's honor into question, Albert. Nevertheless, I harbor no desire to kick a man when he is down, Lord Captain. A letter I received, a letter out of the blue one day. It was unsigned, but the person writing already knew about my calculations. They offered to help me cover up my misdeeds, and in return, I would name the wizard as one of those who sabotaged the supply line. All I had to do was gather together some documents and report that were listed in one of the letters, and keep my mouth shut. Thank you, your lordship. Bows position. I thank you for your sign. Do I roll less responsibility? Well, you gave us the letter. Okay, now we just need to find a warden out of place.
What lies beyond?
You're out of place. The servant by the entryway! He did this all! They're leaving already. Everyone's... I don't believe...
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
I will go and talk to every warden.
There will be no peace in my wake.
Okay, I can't think of any more evidence, so... shifting pace. Never closes its eyes, fears and shame goes before him. Crowd looks confused, or wearing self-contempt. Actually, the governor to you and says, shakes his head as if to say, no, it's not pulling the strings here. I know, I'm just doing it for the XP. Switch troops to trousers, resounding faintly as she does not raise her head, perhaps out of fear. I mean, gesture only to convey the message as guilty only of her own poor judgment. Remaining silent only for their tense, anxious gaze turning back and forth between you and Marcus. Raised eyes and notice his jaw working nervously. Narrows his eyes, grenades Marcus and his root near standing behind him. For a second, his sharp eyes seemed to have caught sight of something, only to lose track for a moment. A disappointed sigh. It could be a Sobek, but he really the one behind it. Narrows his eyes, Marcus as if the perpetrator has given himself away, pronounced the verdict. Eyes and Sobek and his retinue standing behind him. The sharp eyes light up when he caught sight of something important and hidden in the crowd. House is guilty, Sentinel, you may take it from here. Marcus, I must admit, I have always admired your bluntness, but just as I once had to say goodbye to a promotion because of my dislike for Antrug, you and your family might soon say goodbye to your heads. Tell me now, in your blunt fashion, are you loyal to House von Valencius? I am loyal. You are not lying, but someone else is. Someone who is poised to destroy both you and your family for her own gain. Does not have time to respond. Regnant, who is standing beside him, raises her arm as if to slap the elderly Sancho. Albert deftly catches her wrist, stopping her hand right in front of his face. Her dainty hand is adorned with a massive augment glove ring, tapped with a thin spike dripping with venom. Yeah, you think that's going to do shit? Shifts his confusion gaze from his wife to Albert, then back again. The stiff arrogance has vanished from his posture. Regaining you, a mother. Upon what has happened, he recoils from his mother. Your bluntness makes you an open book. When I talked about helping the Garbucks, you had no idea what I was referring to. Your wife, on the other hand, her eyes started shifting like you would not believe. You alone betrayed the rogue trader, jeopardizing the prosperity of House Valencius Dynasty. You alone are responsible for your own making. Of course I didn't. I have too many helpers to list them all, but rest assured there are plenty of them. Just as there are plenty of people who follow Master Vorgvit. My death will not change anything. The true rogue trader will come and take his rightful place when the time is right. Because Adrenaline is serving an imposter, the true heir of the Protectorate bears a different name. When Conrad appeared on Jagnus, he paid me a visit and opened my eyes to the truth of the situation. Theodore was killed by the one whom she had so unwarily taken under her wing. Marxist is too narrow-minded to even consider opposing the rogue trader, even an illegitimate one, so I had to wait for the right moment, and the disappearance of the Lord Captain could not have come at a better time. It was quite simple to trigger a chain of events on tennis that the people remember Master Voigeteer's past service. It seems that many of your subjects do not actually consider you a worthy successor. Because when stripped of the Seneschal's protection, this house is the weakest of all of Dragnus, and they are also particularly disliked by the governor's family. It would have been easy to bury the wizards under accusations of heresy. Helen was a good agent, but he was also a coward. He came to me just before our formidable rogue trader arrived. He was ready to confess everything. I suggested that he plead to the Emperor for forgiveness first, and he did grant him mercy, did he not? Does the rogue trader condemned only the rotten apple or the entire barrel? In that case, Regicta shall be subjugated to intense interrogation followed by execution. The fuck? I think she's already crumpled on the floor. The nobles dispersed, seated by the bloody performance. Albert approaches you, his steps firm. Lord Captain. You have my thanks, as Rogue Trader should not waste time on the matters his servants and trustees can resolve. But in this case, your intervention was necessary, not just for the sake of my family, but for your trade dynasty as well. Salzbuck, evidently Conrad's accomplice, continue to plot against you or Protectorate. I fear we have not heard the last of such scoundrels. Thanks to you, Lord Captain, House was saved, although it came close to being wiped out as a result of scheming without and impotence within. But just for a moment, sometimes I think about what much I could teach them. I could ensure that they survive in the future without me. I need to reflect upon what happened and the role I played in it. I think I will be ready to assume this conversation when we are back on board the ship. Alright, we got the trader's ring. Why are you here? A ring that fires a single liquefied shot. Can be used once per combat. Contains... Okay. Sure, we'll give you your level up. Don't know who people are. Go away. You're gonna be staying on the ship for a while, so I don't care. This will be beneficial in your physical and mental health. I understand that the heir to a picture was hands full. Delete. Block number. People keep thinking me of someone else. Why, not at all, your lordship. Security Essential is an outstanding individual and loyal servant of the Von Valencia Dice. And Lady Theodora absent, we collaborate on a number of issues related to the well-being of your domain. And he has proven himself quite pleptical. And I don't know why, but even the governor trembles before Achilles, which is unusual for a man of his, shall we say, standing. Okay, after we hear what Barrett has to say, we'll call it an episode. Because here's the thing, it's our spy master who's doing this type of stuff. And my question is he a master of disguise? If so, that would explain why we've been having some... explain a few things. Wait, I saw something back there. Above the fireplace. Most likely, if we had, gained, had her still with us, we probably could have gotten even more. Huh? I guess some options would have been combat.
Lord Captain, allow me to express my gratitude once again for your assistance. If it weren't for your intervention, my entire family could have been executed on false charges. I could have lost them all. I never imagined the Viserians would be so vulnerable while I serve as seneschal to the Lord Captain himself, far from home. But such is my duty to the rogue trader, to keep tireless watch at the Lord Captain's side, to serve as a support in the darkest of times, for you and for me. I will not step down from my role, no matter what happens. Do not doubt me. The Viserion family will learn from what has happened, and if our blood is worth anything, we'll be ready to face new trials without my guiding hand. Thank you, Lord Captain. Under my watch, the Trade Protectorate will remain safe and prosper in service to you. Well then, Lord Captain, it is time I return to my duties. Is there anything else I can do for you? Lord Captain.
Here's the thing, Abelard. We've already found your replacement. And if everything goes to hell in a headbasket, we might have only 5 members. But that will be the end of this episode, and I'll see you all in the next.